Solar storm to hit Earth today. Your mobile phone signals, GPS can be affected. A solar storm is approaching the Earth at a phenomenal speed and it may knock out mobile phone signals, GSP and even electricity. Earth is going to be hit by a solar storm anytime today. It will impact, to an extent, satellites in the sky, mobile phones, GPS and more. A solar storm generated by the sun is speeding towards Earth and it will hit anytime today. A solar storm has the power of impacting mobile phone signals, GPS and even cutting off electricity. National Aeronautics and Space Administration (NASA) has measured the speed at which the solar storm is approaching Earth and it is pegged at a mind-boggling 1.6 million kilometers per hour. A disruption in these services can happen when the solar flare hits Earth's magnetic field later today. For those who may be interested, the best example of the solar storm that will be visible to the naked eye would be in the form of the aurora borealis or the northern lights at the North Pole. Telecom disruption expected. Solar storm is expected to impact satellites flying in the sky as there is no protection for them and the instruments that they carry can malfunction for some time. This will in turn impact telecommunications channels on Earth, and that includes mobile phones and other gadgets as well as satellite TV. How solar storms happen. This event happens after the sun shoots out massive amounts of energy, which comes out in the form of solar flares. According to NASA, a solar flare is an intense burst of radiation coming from the release of magnetic energy associated with sunspots. Flares are our solar system's largest explosive events. They are seen as bright areas on the sun. Solar flares' duration, according to NASA, they can last from minutes to hours. We typically see a solar flare by the photons, or light, it releases, at most every wavelength of the spectrum. The primary ways we monitor flares are in X-rays and optical light. Please save the trees and nature. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Space weather is the field that studies how what's going on the sun affects us here on the Earth in our near space environment and on the space environment on other planets.
For a large eruption, the sun produces a flash of light, which we call the solar flare. It also produces a huge ball of material traveling away from the sun we call coronal mass ejection. And both of those phenomena can accelerate subatomic particles, which we call solar energetic particles. These three things together make up a solar storm.
A coronal mass ejection, or CME, is an eruption of plasma from the sun that shoots out into space, and it could affect us here at Earth. A solar flare is a huge release of energy that converts the magnetic energy of the sun into heat, into light. It accelerates particles and can really heat up the plasma in order of minutes to over 60 million Kelvin. Solar energetic particles are particles of plasma that are accelerated at the flare site from the energy that's released in the flare. And these particles can be accelerated up to almost 80% of the speed of light.
And a coronal mass ejection, when it's traveling so fast, creates a shock, and that can create solar energetic particles.
Solar flares and CMEs are all driven by magnetic reconnection. This is where the sun turns up the magnetic field, and then it causes oppositely directed magnetic fields to then annihilate. But you can't just get rid of magnetic field. You can't just get rid of energy. You have to convert that energy and transfer that energy into other things, such as plasma motions, accelerating the plasma, heating up the plasma, and also giving out more light.
But a CME is that material and that magnetic field line just getting thrown away from the sun due to this interaction, whereas a flare is the sort of close to the surface phenomena where the twisting and the snapping occurs, and therefore you get all this heat and kinetic energy.